Welcome, sports fans. Welcome, football fans. Welcome to Singley Field in Clinton Township, New Jersey. My name is Mike Eisenhardt, and I'm here with Main Street Sports. Going to bring you the Junior Lions of North Hunterdon versus Perth Amboy's Red Raiders. We'll be getting started very shortly, so keep an eye on the feed. Thanks for joining us here on Main Street Sports YouTube. We look forward to bringing you this great matchup of the Level C New Jersey Youth Football League. Starting as we always do with the national anthem, so we'll put the mics down for just a moment. Thanks again for joining us. All right, fans, welcome back to Singley Field here at the home of the North Hunterdon Lions. Today we've got the North Hunterdon Junior Lions up against the Red Raiders of Perth Amboy. Looks like teams have taken the field and clock is going to get rolling. And the North Hunterdon in green on the left side of the screen looks ready to start their offense. Just go ahead and waiting for the referee to give us the official sign for the clock. And there we have it. We're rolling. So it's 1st and 10 here at Singley Field, and North Hunterdon Lions in the shotgun set. We've got a run coming out to the right. It looked to be a flag on the play, so we're going to go ahead and see what happened there. And we'll wait for the referee. That looked like holding on the offense. It'll be declined. So loss of maybe 2, let's call it, on the play. 2nd down, loss of 3 with the spot. It'll be 2nd down and 13. So for those of you at home, and we're going to apologize in advance, we don't have the ability to give you roster numbers today. Here's the drop back pass. Looking long, has a receiver. It's caught at the 40, and this is 21 racing down the field, cutting in and getting our first points on the board. North Hunterdon comes out swinging. A beautiful pass on the jet route and just finds his receiver wide open.
Fearlessness from the North Hunterdon Lions quarterback, taking it downfield early in the game.
On the mic with me today is Chris Cahagan, also of Main Street Sports. Yeah, Chris, I think you got to love that. You just see him coming out. They're in a bit of a down position there, a couple of yards back on the loss and the penalty, but then they just come out and strike.
It's good to see them keep confidence after that penalty and look to go down the field.
And so North Hunterdon will set for the points after. And looks like we've got a false start on the offense, which will reset things for North Hunterdon, and they'll have to go ahead and get started again there. And things are back on. A few changes to be made. Ball is up again into the corner. The catch is made. Was he inbounds? Referee says no, was pushed out before he could get those feet down. That was Devin Reagan on the pass to the touchdown scorer, Charlie Matthews, which will leave us at 6.
Great effort on the play, trying to turn the body around and make the catch. Just unfortunately couldn't get that foot down.
So North Hunterdon comes out and shows, I mean, this is my first time doing the game with them, and they clearly show that they have what it takes to strike down the field. Devin Reagan just absolutely looking and putting up a great ball.
I don't think that's anything new for the young man.
Yeah, this will be a good education for me. I haven't gotten to see this group play, but an impressive start, I think, is a fair call there. And as we get rolling back, we're going to see the Red Raiders, and if they can answer back, it looks like Perth Amboy is going to make some decisions here on their call, and we'll go from there. We did have rosters come in, so I appreciate that from both clubs, getting us that information. We'll do our best to get those numbers for you. And it looks to me like the Red Raiders will start under the center, so a different look than the Lions. Ball comes out. Looked to be a little bit choppy in the handoff there, lost the control, but it was number 1. Peguero able to jump on it and secure it for the Red Raiders. That's Latsko on the tackle for North Hunterdon, and with a loss of a few, it will be the Red Raiders 2nd and 12.
Good start for Latsko and the Lions defense. Looking to get penetration through that line early.
So we're seeing some aggression on both sides of the ball so far for North Hunterdon. And certainly that was the game report that I got. Got a chance to talk to the coaches a little bit, and sort of an attacking team on both sides of the ball, which is always great to see. So here's the pitch. Again, a little bit of a trouble in the transfer there for the Red Raiders, and so that's going to be a loss of another few. The attempt made to get it out to the edge by Rivera Rodriguez wearing number 10. And it looks like we'll go ahead and reset.
It's good effort maintaining that ball, not turning it over, but once again, penetration from the Lions front, getting into the backfield, causing disruption.
So the Raiders set up now at, let's call it maybe 18. 3rd and 18. And once again, under the center is number 10. They look to pass, but he is absolutely engulfed by the junior Lions. We'll go ahead and get that number who made the tackle in the backfield. See if we can give him some credit. That looks to me to be maybe, can't quite make it out with his hand there. That looks like maybe a 23. Is that Cathari, it looks like, who was in the backfield creating problems for the Red Raiders. And so now they are pinned deep into their own territory with 4th and a lot, and we will go ahead and see what the decision here is.
That's something the Red Raiders are going to have to figure out after that first drive. That penetration came in on every down.
Ball's up and comes across, and now Lions are going to look to find the edge here. There it is, stays in, well done with footwork. This is number 11, who's working his way in and is going to find the end zone. That's Tonsitic, who gets the score for the Lions and adds a few more on the board. That's going to bring the Lions up to 12.
Great concentration there. Doesn't get his hands on the ball right away, but is able to get to it, get to the outside, and use his speed to get to the end zone.
And so the team in green with the hot pink flare for Breast Cancer Awareness Month here in October is coming out absolutely on fire. So well done to the Lions. We'll see what this next opportunity presents as they look to add some extras. So conversation comes in from the sideline. Lions looking to get some final conversation points and some organization. We're going to see, once again, in that shotgun set is Reagan, who puts one over, and that one looks like it's going to be in for the points. Well done to the junior Lions. Matthews on the catch brings us up to 13. And now
Very tight ball put in there by the Lions quarterback on a rope to his receiver.
Yeah, who was covered, right? I mean, you saw some red jerseys around, no question about it. And that's always impressive to be able to just sort of thread that needle. Good concentration by the receiver.
Absolutely.
So on screen, we've got a shot of the supporting crew, the Junior Lions cheerleaders. Great to see them out supporting the crew as the Junior Lions find their way back to defense. Red from the huddle, and they'll go ahead and get themselves organized. Josiah Rivera Rodriguez under the center. And we've got some split backs in the backfield. So we'll see what we've got going on. Looks for the screen, finds the receiver, goes backward. The referee says that's an incomplete pass. That's unfortunate. That was Pugaro, who was the intended receiver, just couldn't quite bring it in. Good effort there.
Unfortunate drop there for Perth Amboy. They're going to need those quick outs to break up that line pressure coming into the backfield.
Yeah, the screen was that was well-designed screen. You could see them kind of waiting for that pressure, maybe come over the top. So kudos to the coaching staff to recognize it and try to alleviate some pressure. Couldn't quite pull it off this time, so we'll see what they deal this 2nd and 10. Got a man in motion, and looks like maybe we're going to have a little bit of an early jump there. Looks like a false start call coming, and that will unfortunately cost them a few more and put them at 2nd down and 15. Looked to me like maybe the left tackle jumped a little there, a little early before the count, had a man in motion. So unfortunate, but they'll get back to work here.
Yeah, with the offense not quite clicking yet, these penalties can pile on the frustration. Let's see if they could get a play going here.
So as we go, we'll try to shout out some of the boys doing the work here. We've got Rentulis in 51 lined up in that tackle channel, and 55 next to him. Latsko. This is the QB looking for space, just trying to find something, but is absolutely corralled in. Once again, Cathari. We'll see what we've got for the call. Saw a flag on the field.
Starting to feel like a broken record early in this game, but that pressure just keeps on coming into the Perth Amboy quarterback.
Yeah, it looked to me like that pressure is has got them kind of in fits here. They're going to be dropping back another. So we've got 3rd and 20, which is not an easy place to be. And once again, Lions are pinning them sort of deep into the Red Raider territory. Substitution coming on the field looks to me like that's number 59, which would make it Carter McQueen entering the game. A little bit of a drop back, quick step over the top. Pass is completed that time, and now the Red Raiders show their own burst of speed, and they look to get on the board with Christian Roberts making his way in to gain some points. So Red Raiders able to split the defense there and find some space between the safeties. And have not seen an official call there, but we're going to go ahead and say that that was 6 to bring the score up and get it a little more close to even. So we've got 13-6, and the Red Raiders will organize and see if they can get the extra.
Nice play there, getting the ball out of his hands, looking to see what looks like one of their better skill players out there, showing his speed as he bursts out for the touchdown.
Yeah, big receiver right down the middle. Good strike on the quick drop. Looked to me like maybe maybe a quick 2-step or 3-step drop and was able to just unload it. Once again, that adjustment likely because of the pressure we're seeing that North Hunterdon is putting up. Able to make it work that time, so Rivera Rodriguez able to find Roberts. And we're showing no time left in this first quarter. We're going to go ahead and figure out. There may have been a couple of stoppages on our end that we missed, but looks like the Red Raiders will line up same direction, and they'll look to get those points. Some pressure that time. Big hit, but not before the receipt was made. Looks to me like the men in stripes might suggest that was a little behind the play, and we'll see what the call is there. And so that's going to go ahead and give the Red Raiders a little bit more. All right, so we've got a score of 14-8. Apologies for those at home. We're just getting some clarification on the point structure here at this level of football. So 2 it is the booth consensus, so we're going to go with that, and we now have 14-8. Call in the field was a late hit. It was a good hit, solid hit, exactly the kind of tackle you'd like to see, just maybe a second late there in the end zone. So an unfortunate, aggressive mistake by the Lions, and we check that, maybe getting a clarification.
I think the Lions will still look to continue to be aggressive, but coaching staff will definitely talk to them about that.
So it looks like we're getting, again, a little bit more official ruling here from the field. We think it's now 13-7 because of some of the finer bits of the rules here. And that was a 1-point extra, 1 conversion. So Lions will take the ball back here on their 20. And we'll see what sort of attacking they can muster and come back and try to answer the long strike from the Red Raiders. And here we have a little bit of a misdirection, finding some space, tackled by a pile of Red Raiders, but very close to the first down. We'll see if the officials give it. Looks like they did. And that is a 10-yard gain by the Junior Lions. So a nice little counter attack there, a little counter run, little show by the Lions, and now that may be the end of the quarter.
Good play call by the Lions there, looking to get that run game going, keep the pass game open.
That is not the end of the quarter. That was and that puts us rolling. So here in the second quarter, it is 1st and 10 on the 45-yard line for the Junior Lions. Referee says, we'll take a timeout. Junior Lions have called for timeout. We get a little clarification, and that gives us a chance to talk about some of the players and tell you the lineups today. We were not able to bring those to you, so let's go ahead and just read these off. Give these athletes the shout-out they deserve. So in red, we'll do the guests first. We got 0, Noel Ortiz. Number 1, Yaris Piguero. Number 2, Noah Sorholm. Number 3, Dylan Gardner. Number 4, Ty Jimenez. Number 5, Sean Atkins Jr. Number 6, John Maricall. Number 7, Jeremiah Placencia. Number 8, Amayas Pena. Number 9, Christian Mercado Rodriguez. Number 10, the quarterback, Josiah Rivera Rodriguez. Number 11, Christian Roberts. Number 12, Cesar Roque. Number 13, Jason Gurley. Number 14, Adrian Velez. Number 15, Julian Pearson. 16, Miguel Orlando. 17, Nolan Basmore. 18, Isaiah Hall. We'll go ahead and pause there as the Lions make their way back to the field, and we'll continue reading those lineups as we have time.
See what the Lions drew up after that timeout.
So once again in the shotgun, ball comes out, looking for the pass. There's the strike down the field. That one, unfortunately, just a little out to the outside shoulder, not able to pull it in. And some good coverage there by the Red Raiders as well. They were into that double coverage and really looking to pick up that strike.
Good attempt by the Lions, looking to keep that deep threat open, keep the defense on their heels, keep the running game active.
And so, 2nd and 10 with the Lions and the ball. Showing a bit of a spread set here. We got a lone back there. 2 receivers on the left, 1 in motion. Now the look, a little counterattack again. That one could have been a face mask. I did not see a call. Was certainly up near the helmet, but officials say it's okay. So gain of 1 on the play. 3rd and 9, maybe 3rd and 8.
Good stop by the interior lineman there.
That was 10, Matthew Behringer in motion. So we'll see if that becomes a feature of the game. Once again, now the Lions really looking. They've got a trip set on the outside. Red Raiders jump the count, and that one's going to cost them a few. Looked to me like the Lions were able to hold their discipline there on the long count, and the officials agree.
It's an unfortunate penalty after a good stop, getting 3rd down.
Yeah, that one changes it for the drive. Right now, it goes from 3rd and long to really 3rd and 3, 3rd and 3.5 maybe. And you would think the Lions feel a whole lot better about this. Here's the run right through the middle, gets the 1st down and a couple more. So they show the power of their offensive line to create that space for Kelman, who goes through and gets the 1st down.
Good burst of speed through the line there to get that 1st down.
So this drive, it looks like the Lions are showing a bit more ball control, just trying to work the field, which is nice to see. A little bit more of a balanced attack. Got those 2 quick scores and now seem to be settling in. Again, 1st and 10. Showing edge play here, looking to get out to the wide space. Again is Kelman, 48, who grabs, let's call it another 7.
Good work by Kelman, getting extra yards after contact. It's always important to be able to take that contact and get through for a couple more.
So the spot is a little deeper than we thought. So that's now showing 2nd and 4. And we'll see what the Lions choose to do. It's an interesting spot here because 2nd and 4 might see something a little more oriented to the space. It's not a free play. It's not 2nd and 1, but it's an interesting setup. So now, showing the ball, and this is it, coming out into the width. Breaks the 1st tackle, is brought down by the 2nd tackler. That was Tonzatich carrying and Roberts on the tackle. So a gain of, let's call it 2. And now 3rd and about 3. Lions will work to get that first down.
Good discipline by Perth Amboy there, staying on it with a couple of misdirections on the play and able to follow the ball and track the runner.
So now the Lions will once again see if they can get some blast off that line. You can see there are a couple of very clear size advantages, so we'll see if they can exploit that asset and find their space they're looking for. Stack to the right. Here's the lead block and drive through, and number 20 breaks through for the first down and then some. That is Tommy Eckles. And the North Hunterdon line flexing a little strength there with their linemen.
It's a big confidence builder for the Lions up front, knowing that they could take those short yardage situations and still push the ball downfield with confidence.
So 1st and 10, just inside the 20-yard line. So let's call it 19 to go. Lions will work to find the goal line once again. This time it's a keeper. Off to the right side, gains a few, and looked to be a little bit of a melee there. Maybe a lost ball, but referee says it was okay. Tackle was made. That's Devin Reagan who holds the ball and gains a couple. So we've got 2nd now, and let's call it 3.5, maybe 4.
So you're going to see a balanced attack from the Lions offense. That deep threat always there with the Lions quarterback. He could put the ball downfield. Perth Amboy is always going to need to be aware of that.
Yeah, you can see the vision, right? We're going to stretch the field, make you respect us long, and then we have the strength to pound up the middle too. That one looked like a bit of a jump there on the long count. That's going to be a penalty on the Junior Lions, which will have them lose 5, making it 2nd and let's call it 10. Maybe slightly less, 2nd and 9. And so the penalty does cost them a bit, but I think they're feeling confident. 2nd, they're again spread to the right. Look to see that space. Reagan with the pitch. Now going to try to find the corner. Big hit, but he shrugs off the first one. Able to get beyond and get the first down is number 23. That's Cathari, who is able to find the edge, get the first down, and put them in a 1st and goal situation.
Once again, the Lions backfield finding yards after contact. That's got to be very, very good for the Lions coaching staff to see.
So, 1st and goal, Cathari alone back, and he gets it. They're going to give him his chance after that first down. He gets a couple, but not quite able to find his way in. So we've got 2nd and looks like 2nd and goal within about 3 yards to go. As the clock runs down on the 2nd quarter and we approach halftime. So they're going to have to go ahead and get this rolling. On the field here, it looked like 40 seconds on our clock were expired. Referee says, we'll take a timeout. And let's just double check this. So we've got a short time here, 2nd and goal situation, and it looks like timeout to stop the clock. On the field, we're showing 35 seconds or thereabout. So we'll keep you up to date because our clock on the screen is showing expired. So this is an interesting situation, interesting setup for the Lions. Short time before half, going to try to put 6 more in. So while we wait for the timeout to expire, we'll pick up those lineups. Again, this is the Red Raiders starting from number 20, Anthony Velez. 21, Cameron Ortiz. 22, Sebastian Sanchez. 23, Jordan Jones. 26, Mason Benefield. 28, Caleb Matias. 34, Keanu Campos. 50, Nicholas Medina. 51, Noah Mejia. 52, Bryson Halawadi. 53, Mackay Duggins. We're going to hold there as the Lions come back up in their second and goal situation. 3 yards out, showing a very, very big, powerful stack here, and we're going to see what kind of movement they've got. Looked to me like the Raiders jumped first, but did see some movement in the North Hunterdon line, and so he says, nope, that was a violation of the neutral zone there, and so it will be half the distance to the goal, and we are now 1.5, let's call it, out. Lions go right back to their set. Ball is loose on the ground. Reagan jumped on it, not sure, was recovered. And so a little bit of a miscue there in the snap, unfortunately. And we're going to go ahead and try to get a feel for the time on the field here. Officially, the referee's on the field. The officiating team keeps the clock. But they have set up and said we have time. So now, 3rd and goal from about the 5. Reagan keeps it himself again. This time, powers through and gets the touchdown. Well done to give a few more to the Lions. So we add 6 there. Touchdown for the QB, Reagan, bringing the score up to 20-7.
Another win for the Lions offensive front. Big guys up front getting the job done, creating the opening for Reagan to get into the end zone.
Yeah, it looked to me like North Hunterdon just seems to really have that, the battle in the trenches, as we call it, able to get forward and really create some space. Now Reagan looks, throws the strike in to the space. That one not able to connect, and took a bit of a shot there on the way. So that will be the ball switch, and we'll leave it at 20-7. And we are now showing about a minute or so on the clock. So here at Singley Field, Red Raiders will take over on downs, and we'll go ahead and continue with the lineups. 54, Braylon Rojas. This is again the Red Raiders. 55, Nasser Roman. 56, Camilo Suarez. 57, Carter Siegel. 58, Daniel Romero. 60, Kyle Strzensky. 66, Silas Melnick. 69, Logan Androvich. 72, Mario Malyar. 77, Taylor Valdez. 98, Giovanni Nieves Rodriguez. And 99, Averian Mendez. For your North Hunterdon Lions, starting out with the QB, we've called his name quite a bit today. 3, Devin Reagan. 4, Thomas Eisenhart. 7, Declan Riley. 8, Samuel Morgans. 10, Matthew Behringer. 11, the touchdown scorer, Roger Tonzitich. 12, Oliver Evans. 13, John Hunt. 14, Oliver Schools. We'll go ahead and pause there as the Lions set up to defend. Now the Red Raiders show, but they have a little bit of a miscue, and that one looks like a fumble that may be recovered by the junior Lions with just a bit of time on the clock. So we'll see if they can capitalize on this situation.
Now that's a couple of unfortunate errors off of the snap to the quarterback, or looking for the handoff. They're going to need to clean that up. Those turnovers there are going to cost them.
So we're going to see if the Lions have enough time for a play or two. And it does look like they will as the Red Raiders make their way back onto the field. And there's the whistle. And so we'll see what kind of magic they can come up with here with a very short time and a little further to go. So now you see a little bit of a jump here. by the Red Raiders, which is going to cost them 5 and give the Lions a little bit of a better option. So now about 28 to go. The Lions are setting up and going to look to strike down the field. Reagan looks, puts one over the top. He has a man. Oh, very well done. Just slightly out of the connection there is number 7, Declan Riley, who makes a real good attempt and lays out for it. Just can't quite pull it in.
That deep ball remains a threat. They're going to need to, the Red Raiders are going to need to keep their eye on that, especially with a short time remaining.
And so, once again, the Lions look to strike with about 28 to go in a very short time. Here's the pass. Nice little step to the outside. Able to get by one. Tackle is made. That's Tonzatich, who gains, let's call it nearly 20. And puts the Lions in a very dangerous situation here with only about 9 to go. See if they can get through this half and maybe put 6 more on.
That is a huge tackle there to save that touchdown with only a few seconds remaining in the half.
Did not catch the number, but you're absolutely right. Scraping tackle came across. So we'll go ahead and get players back to the field, and officials are still at the center, so very short time, but the Lions will make some decisions and figure out how best to get after these final points in a short time. They don't look super phased to me. They seem calm and relaxed, so this is a situation they've clearly drilled. And there's the whistle. Reagan marshals the offense, and now the ball. There's the strike in the corner. This one's going to work out, and officials signal the touchdown. So that's another for the Lions, bringing it up to 26. That was Riley, who's able to keep the concentration and pull in the ball.
Beautifully placed ball into the back corner of the end zone. Drops it right into the bucket there for the touchdown.
So that could have been with time expiring here in the half. I mean, that's great work by the crew in green. They're going to go ahead and try to add one extra here, and that'll bring the score to 27 if they're successful. Here's the drive. Hit in the backfield, but able to churn on. And the hands are up, so that's going to add the 1 and bring us to 27. And that one was that's number 20, Tommy Eckles, who gets us in, and looks to me like that will be the halftime. But not before the Junior Lions put 27 on the board to the Red Raiders 7.
Be interesting to see how the Red Raiders answer back in the second half. They definitely have the big play. They're going to need to keep those turnovers from happening. That score before the half, a big mistake, could be the difference.
And so here at halftime, we'll go ahead and take a break, set the mics down for a bit. Thanks so much again for joining us here on Main Street Sports as we bring you the North Hunterdon Junior Lions C-level football against the Perth Amboy Red Raiders. We're going to go ahead and pick up in a few minutes. We'll give these guys a break, and we will take it from there. Thanks again for joining. Singley Field. And we are about to start second half. We've got the Junior Lions up by 20 at a score of 27-7 over the Perth Amboy Red Raiders. My name is Mike Eisenhart. I'm joined with Chris Gahagan from Main Street Sports here broadcasting this game. We thank you for joining us at home. This is our first attempt here at Singley Field and our first trial with this particular team. We're excited to be here, and we're seeing some really, really good football. So we're going to go ahead and bring you back to the second half as we get things rolling. And we'll see if the Junior Lions can continue their very, very aggressive scoring, 27-7, or whether the Red Raiders will be able to figure out their attacking and their defending and see if they can level this thing out. We're going to put 10 more minutes on the board for quarter 3, and we'll get rolling from here. Thanks again for joining us. And we're back. So the Red Raiders will take over here at the start of the second half. And they show, once again, quarterback under center. Different quarterback. That's number 10 in motion. Big stick there behind the line. So, number 3, Reagan makes the tackle. And it looked to me like maybe it's Ty Jimenez, number 4, who's taken over the duties at quarterback, giving Josiah Rivera Rodriguez a break.
Lions quarterback on the defensive side of the field coming in at linebacker sniffs that play out, very aggressive getting to the ball carrier.
So second and let's call it 12 for the Red Raiders. They show a 2-back set. And once again, quarterback under center. Now, little show of the sweep. Now gets to the outside, finds some space. Big hit by Reagan to take him out of bounds. That's 28. That flag is going to go possibly a late hit there. And we'll give the yardage gained to Caleb Matthias of Perth Amboy. So I think that one's going to cost the Lions a little bit more. Now let's see what the call is. And that is going to be marked off as a personal foul, 15 yards, and an automatic first down. And so, Red Raiders will take over. Here's the handoff. Group of Lions go ahead and make that tackle. 23 on the hit initially. That's Cathari. And that's going to bring it to 2nd and 10. Second.
Big play for the Lions defense, keeping big play from coming in after the penalty. Now this is a big drive. This is a big drive for the Red Raiders. They're going to need to get onto the board early in this half.
So here's the snap. Red Raiders looking downfield. Cathari on the sack. Drops the Raiders for a loss of about 4. And that is going to bring up a 3rd down and a long situation. So Junior Lions defense stiffens there in a tougher situation after the penalty. They sort of stiffen up and find the ability to push him back. We'll see what happens here on this 3rd down and 15 situation.
Pressure in the backfield continues for the Lions, really coming in at times where they need it. That is a very big play, especially after the penalty. Big 3rd down coming up.
And so, Red Raiders come out over the ball, and we'll see what they've got in this 3rd and long situation. Lions show one deep safety, looking pass. Here's the ball over. It's batted down. Well done by Reagan to keep his concentration and get a hand out there on the ball. And that's going to bring up 4th down.
Big play coming up here. You're going to think that with the explosiveness of the Lions offense, the Red Raiders are really going to need to get this 1st down.
So 4th and 15, and the Red Raiders come out and show the shotgun. Here's the snap. Looking downfield. Passes up. It's over. Has a man, but not good step. Still on his feet, but there are the Lions' pride and stop the Raiders before the 1st down. So they're able to take over after a good defensive set. The pass was completed. It was a nice pass and well done there by the Red Raiders, just not quite long enough to get the 1st down.
It's a good pass by the Red Raiders, just wasn't able to get those extra yards after contact to fight for the 1st down. Big stop for the Lions. Let's see if they can answer back and continue to increase that lead.
So it's 1st and 10 as the Junior Lions offense makes their way to the field. Good time to shout out a few more of the Lions. I believe we got through number 20, Tommy Eckles. So 21, Charlie Matthews. 23, Kathari. 24, Liam Ponte. 48, Benjamin Kelman. Now the ball is coming through. This is Kathari, who gains a couple. Looks like about 4 or 5. And it'll be 2nd and 5. Continuing our lineup, we got 50, Jack Ippolito. 51, Nicholas Rentulis. 55, Evan Latsko. 58, Logan Dandio. 59, Carter McQueen. 61, Greg Fullman. 67, Nicholas Guerrero. 70, Trip Shea. 71, Holland Campbell Stout. 77, Aaron Wortman Vian. 78, Theodore Singbaba. 80, Dean Dangel. 81, Ernest Osai Boateng. 84, Leonardo Salazar. 86, Elliot Evans. And 94, Zvar Sumanth. And so, penalty on the play, flag on the field, and that's going to go against the Red Raiders, make it 2nd and short. Maybe 1. Clock is back running. And Reagan is in the shotgun. Takes it himself. Going to gain the 1st down and more. Looking for space on the outside. Finds one. Solid work there by the Red Raiders to come across, but not before a very large gain of about 20, maybe 21 for the Lions.
Lions making big plays both on the ground and in the air, but seeming like they're continuing to put the ball on the ground with that lead, continuing the clock, keeping the ball moving.
So it's 1st and 10 here at Singley Field, and the Lions will have the ball just inside their 30-yard line. So 29 to go. And here's the handoff. Kathari looks. Oh, that was 81. My apologies. Flag on the field. Tackled for a loss, but we'll see what that flag was. That was 81. Osai Boateng. So, second and let's call it 15. And Regan shows the set. There's the shotgun. Comes out. That one could be a false start. Flag on the play. Let's see what we've got. And it was. It's a false start against the Lions. So that creates a very long situation. So it'll be second and 20. So Lions backed up to a second and 20 situation. We'll see what they can bring here. Now the ball out. Reagan looks down the field, has a man. Oh, there's the flag. That's going to be interference on number 10, unfortunately. Did a nice job of covering, but just bailed at the end there and got a hand up in the face. So, pass interference on the Red Raiders. And that is going to change some things for the Lions. So that now brings them within 9, maybe more. Yeah, let's call it 6. So 3rd and 6.
Big play to have a much more manageable third down.
Now the ball's off. It's picked off. Red Raiders are looking. Flag is down. And this is number 23, who's still on his feet and continuing. Moving down the field, gets the ball to his 30. And that was a big play by the Red Raiders.
Huge play for the Red Raiders. Let's see what this flag, if it's going to be coming back.
So it looks like it's going to come back for an illegal block. And we'll get an official ruling of exactly how and where that comes to be. And so the penalty is an illegal block. We're trying to get an official ruling here, whether that will come back and stay or if that was after the penalty or after the interception, excuse me. It looks to me like it was, in which case the Red Raiders will take over, but they will negate all of that run back. So hard to see here. We've got a little bit of a change. Let's see. And it looks like we're going to see a 1st and 10 starting over here for the Red Raiders.
Big turnover for the Red Raiders, something they're going to need to spark that offense, get themselves back in the game. Unfortunate penalty, but good for them to have the ball.
So at 27-7, the Lions are on defense, and the Red Raiders will start their offense at the 15-yard line. Look to me of a possible flag on the play. Let's see what we've got. It is a false start against the Red Raiders. Here's the pass, screen pass. Looking to find some space, but not any space to be found. The Lions read it, snuff it out, and get the tackle.
Once again, a lot of Lions in the backfield creating disruption. Good job by the quarterback, able to get it out, but nowhere to go.
So it's Tonzatich who makes the tackle and pushes the Raiders back even a little bit further. So they're in a dangerous spot on the field here, having to try to attack from deep in their own territory, and it looks like they'll go ahead and take a timeout to discuss things. So with about a minute and a half left here in the third quarter, it's going to be the Lions on defense looking to continue to pressure the Red Raiders, who will work to get out of deep in their zone, deep in, let's call it 6 yards on the 6, and have to push themselves out and find some space. I think for me, Chris, what I've seen so far is the Lions seem to have a really nice balanced program here. They've got lots of weapons. They can attack in different angles on the game. They're able to push through the center. They're able to get to the outsides. They can go over the top. But I think the thing that impresses me is that defensively, they're really smothering. They're coming up. They're creating pressure in the trenches, and then they've got their outside players and their deep players coming up and filling in, making those one-on-one tackles.
That defensive front is creating a lot of disruption for the Red Raider offense getting into the backfield. They're having a lot of trouble getting something going, and you're seeing a lot of green jerseys swarm to the ball, a lot of green jerseys around the ball after the play. It's a good mark of a strong defense.
So shout out to the Junior Lions coaching staff for having this team really ready for the game today. And likewise, across the way to the Perth Amboy Red Raiders, they have not given up one bit. They're in a tough situation here, but they are continuing to push and fight. So we'll see what they can muster and see if they can find some space to work with here deep in their own territory.
As we've seen in the first half, the Red Raiders do have the big play. They have the ability to get down the field in one shot. If the quarterback could have a little bit of time to see that pass, it could happen again.
So now under center, here's the snap. Looks down the field for the pass. Under pressure, is tackled, possibly a safety, and that is. So well done there by number 12, Oliver Evans, who comes through and just wraps up the quarterback. That's going to add a couple for the Lions.
Right on cue, the Lions are once again pushing into the backfield. Unfortunate miscue from the Red Raider quarterback stepping into the end zone.
So once again, the pressure comes up through the middle, and this time it's Evans. So we'll see what kind of look the Lions bring now with a comfortable lead and a minute and change left on the clock. So with a 1st and 10, it's going to be the Lions. A little over a minute to play here in the third quarter. That's 21 entering the field. Matthews. Reagan making some adjustments. Now is ready. And here's the ball. Handoff to 10 through the space. Gains a couple. And is stood up. So that was Barringer on the carry and gains about 2, maybe 3.
That balanced attack continues for the Lions, moving the ball pretty well on the ground.
So a 2nd and 8 situation. And Reagan in the shotgun. Now the handoff. Once again, it's Barringer, who finds some space this time, cuts up, makes the read, gains another, maybe 7 or 8. Let's call it about 3rd and 1. And that looks like that could be the end of the quarter. So with a 29-7 scoreline, the Lions end the 3rd quarter, and we take a little bit of a break. I think the one of the things that you really got to take on a day like today is this is perfect fall football weather. As we look out here in Clinton Township, New Jersey, Annandale at North Hunterdon High School, the sky is clear. The weather is nice. It's actually even a little touch warm for October. And what a great day to be here playing some football.
Couldn't agree more. It's an absolutely beautiful day for a football game. I'm sure these kids are really enjoying themselves out there.
So, some conversation here by the North Hunterdon Lions to get a few things decided. And we will start the 4th quarter shortly. And so Lions come back out over the ball and look to be in a 2nd and long situation. Showing trips out on the far end of the screen here, and looks to be man coverage. Ball goes up to the opposite side, looking, it is caught. That is an excellent grab. Great attention there by number 21, Charlie Matthews, who pulls in the big strike from Reagan.
Lions quarterback Reagan puts the ball somewhere his receiver could go up and make a play. Really great job turning his body to the ball there, contorting to get in position to make that catch.
So that changes things for the Lions. They were in that long situation, and they get it and then some. That now was showing 1st and 10 at about the 35-yard line. Now 10 through the gap for another 4 or 5, brought down by a host of Raiders, but not before gaining 5 or 6. That's Matthew Behringer, who's doing the work with the ball in hand.
The balance continues for North Hunterdon Lions, moving the ball on the ground, opening up the deep ball. The Red Raiders have to stay honest up front to defend the run, and it's allowing these line receivers to get behind.
So a comfortable 2nd and 5 situation for the Lions. Now the ball in the shotgun. Kept this time, a little bit of a fake, and is able to find some space and get the 1st down.
Great read by the Lions quarterback. Sees the Raiders defenders going to the run and pulls it, keeps it himself, and gets a big gain up the outside.
So now at about the 16, maybe 17-yard line, the Lions will go ahead and try to punch one in. It'll be interesting to see. They're showing that spread again, lone back. And now the handoff. It is bobbled and lost, but questionable of who retained. It looks like maybe the Raiders were able to jump on it, and they will get the turnover. Whistles are blown, and going to get some information from the officials.
If this stands, big play for the Red Raider defense.
Yeah, a little miscue in the handoff there, and bobbled forward. So let's see what we've got. And it does look like it's going to be Raiders taking the ball with 1st and 10 on their 20. So that is a big play, big stop. I mean, Lions looking very strong marching down the field. Unfortunate, and I'm sure they'll want that back.
Yeah, they'd love to get that one back, especially after a great play, big pass play coming down the field in scoring position.
So the Raiders get a few final bits of instruction from their coaching staff before they get out over the ball and restart their offense. And we'll see what sort of a offensive set they come out with. Looks like they've gone back to their starting quarterback, number 10, Rivera Rodriguez, who looks down the field, has some space, but well defended, is number 11, Christian Roberts. Looked to me like Charlie Matthews got up and got a hand on it, able to bat it down, and so that keeps the ball at the same line of scrimmage as a 2nd 10 situation for the Red Raiders.
Number 11 for the Red Raiders, you'll remember, had the big play for the touchdown in the first half, looking to recreate that going down the field to him. Good attempt.
So Red Raiders trying to get a quick momentum strike, maybe get the things going back on track. We'll see what they do in here in this situation at 2nd and 10 from their 19-yard line. So the clock is running. Again, they show pass, looking to stretch the field. It's double coverage, but he makes the catch and brings it in at about the 34-yard line, which will give the Red Raiders a 1st and 10.
Great throw and catch there by the Red Raiders. They're going to need to continue that, move down the field. Looks like they're trying to line up quickly here.
Yeah, I noticed the same. Looked to me like the coach on the far end of the field trying to get the hurry-up offense rolling. I mean, as the time ticks away, that makes some sense. They've got a big gap to fill here in 6 minutes and change, and so they're going to get after the ball. But a nice pass there by 10. Rivera Rodriguez and able to find his receiver, who does a real good job to cut back and find the ball. So 1st and 10 on around 35. Now he once again rolls. This time looks to show keep. Flag on the field. Going to have to make this tackle first before we see what happens. And there it is. After not quite getting back to the line of scrimmage, but we'll see what the call is. I've got a holding call against the Raiders. And so that's going to push them back 5. So an unfortunate one if you're rooting for the team in red. And we'll have a 2nd and 15.
Those penalties can really be drive killers. Let's see how the Red Raiders respond.
So at the 25-yard line, it's going to be a 2nd and 10 situation, or 20, 2nd and 20 situation for the Red Raiders. Not an easy one. Oh, now we're showing 1st and 20. So once again, the pass, but real big pressure there. That looked to be number 12. So Evans comes through and creates some pressure, able to get his hands around the quarterback and drop them back into a very, very deep situation. So 2nd and a whole long way to go for the Red Raiders, now pinned inside their 20, so at about the 16, 17-yard line.
I think those last couple of plays really sum up how things have gone today for the Red Raider offense. Really struggling to stop that pressure from coming into the backfield, having a lot of trouble getting things going on the offensive side of the ball.
So clock continues to tick down, and now the handoff This is number 34, trying to find some space. Not a whole lot to find. And that is Keanu Campos, who has to fight for every yard and unfortunately finds a wall of green. And now we will go ahead and stop the clock. So some conversation here. Now the Red Raiders are ready to come back and get things rolling. Third, very long. So the Lions are a little left off. Looked like maybe an early jump, but once again, the Lions just absolutely collapse through the center and drive back to quarterback.
Into the backfield again go the junior Lions. This is something that the Red Raiders, I think, will be focusing on in practice coming into next week.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say the Lions looking very strong in that interior space, and they're just able to create so much havoc in that D line that everything else just sort of folds in on itself. Don't envy that if you're a red jersey fan, because no doubt those Lions are coming through with serious pressure. And so we'll see here on the fourth and very, very long. Here it is. They show punt. Ball is up, and now it's live. Takes a bounce. Now it's reeled in, and some space to run, but a real nice tackle there by 14. So Riley gets a few back, but not before he's met by Adrian Velez, who does a nice job of doing the solo tackle. So the Lions will take over on downs here at, let's call it, the 36.
Not much time remaining. Let's see what the Lions offense does here to close out the quarter.
We're showing 2 minutes and change on the field. Now the ball comes out. This is 20, who gains a few. So Tommy Eccles, who gains a few more for the Lions, and that brings us into a second and roughly 4, maybe 3 situation. Once again, Lions showing the shotgun. Now a man in motion. Ball is out. It's handed off. 20 looking for some space. Eccles is met. Good job there by number 11 from the Red Raiders to force the step in, and then had some supporting tacklers there. So no gain on the play. Third, and let's call it 3.
Good job of the Red Raiders there, staying disciplined on the edge, not letting anybody get to the outside.
Once again, man in motion. Now the snap out, and it's a keep. Reagan looks to find the outside. Cuts through one, still on his feet, grinding forward, gains a couple more. So that will get us the first down if you're a North Hunterdon Lions fan, and is going to put them very close to first and goal. But it looks to me like maybe they're at the 12, so they'll have an opportunity for another first down.
That clock continues to run down, only seconds remaining.
And hard to tell if that's a timeout or a final there. Looks like maybe the referees in the center have decided that will be the end of the game. And so congratulations to the North Hunterdon Sea Level Lions with a 29-7 victory over the Perth Amboy Red Raiders. It's been an absolute pleasure bringing you the game today. Thank you so much for joining us, and thanks to the North Hunterdon Lions for having us out. Chris, final thoughts, plays of the game, players of the game. Who do you think deserves a bit of a shout-out?
Well, it was a great game, hard fought on both sides. Big play from number 11 by the Red Raiders, but they weren't able to recreate it. I will give the shout out to the Lions defensive front for shutting down the Red Raiders offense in general, continuously in the backfield with their pressure. They just did not allow the Red Raiders to get anything going on the offensive side of the ball today.
Yeah, I think that's a great pickup. You know, oftentimes we see the flash, we see the guys who are scoring the touchdowns, but the real work is done by the Mules in the center, and they were doing it all day long today, winning the trench battle. So that is definitely the story of the game here at Singley Field. We're going to go ahead and sign off. Thanks again for joining us on Main Street Sports. We will see you again next time. And as the next game gets queued up, we're going to go ahead and sign off. Thanks again for joining us.